Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So this week I'm going to be using one of my favorite tools, Manus AI, to create some drag and drop cards and to actually help educators distinguish between the different types of learning and also to show you some activities that we could actually create using Manus AI. So if you're interested in coming to explore Manus AI once again with me, then please keep on watching. Okay, so this week I'm going to be showing you some cards that I actually used last week with a group of educators to help them try to discern and sort between different types of learning. Now, I don't want to give it away and tell you what the types of learning are, but let's just go through what the cards were. What I think you'll be able to see in my prompt actually what the types of learning are, but perhaps you could use these cards and I'll put a link in the comment section below for you to use them. So let's go and take a look. Okay, so here you can see that the actual instructions was with the attached, could you put them on individual scenario cards on a one-sided card. They do not need to flip, but the cards need to be able to move around and be dragged so that teachers can sort them into different piles. Good. I'm so glad that I didn't give away what the type of learning was, because it's, we're asking teachers to sort out these cards into two different categories. I have the cards already. They were created on a PDF on Canva, or it was on Canva, and then I exported as a PDF. So it says they just need to be able to move in the space and be dragged around to split into two piles. Can you do that? Make sure that each card has a dark red border and put Jennifer Chang Wathall on it so that people know who's created this. And then please use this title, Learning Scenarios Grades 6 to 12. So Manus is quite descriptive in its explanation of what it's doing. So it's creating an interactive, sortable card-based visualization of the provided learning scenarios. So I've already done this, and I did this last week and then shared the link out to a whole big group of educators, 120 educators, and they could just, on their laptops, it was a bit easier to drag these around. The reason why I went digital, because normally I have the physical cards. I think there's something that could be said about manipulating or moving things physically, but I didn't know how many were coming to my workshop. So I didn't know it was going to be 100 or whether it's going to be 200. So I thought, let me ensure that I have these cards digitally so that if people just have the QR code or the link, they could just drag the cards on their laptops. So here it's come up with the cards Manus. Perfect. The application is working well. I can see all 16 scenario cards. All right. And then it deployed it. Now, was it perfect the first time? Oh, no. I did go through this process where they gave me the cards on this web page, but they wouldn't drag. So I said, these cards do not drag or move. So then Manus corrected this, and then let's go and have a look at the cards. So Manus said, perfect, I've fixed the drag functionality. The cards now work properly. Each card can be clicked and dragged. Cards move smoothly, dark red borders, professional layout, touch support. It works on tablets and mobile devices too. And there's a title and attribution as well. Okay, so let's just go to here. Oh, I think I had to give it another prompt and re-prompt, because as you can see, I've got 16 cards. I can't scroll down. So let's just go back. And so I actually had to give it an additional prompt. Let's go back here to the actual slides. Okay, so I'm back on the page because you could see I had to edit that again because they couldn't scroll. So I actually said, I can't seem to see all the cards in this window. Can you make sure the card's there? and we can scroll down the page. And then the third attempt was better. But I must say, I did create the cards for pre-K to grade 5, and it was one prompt and it gave it to me. So I'm going to go there in a minute to show you, but let's have a look at the final version. So this is the final version here. I'm just going to click on, and here you can see I can drag these and move them down. So here you can see the types of learning. There are examples of scenarios. It says introduce students to the discriminant, give examples using the discriminant, ask students to practice questions applying the discriminant to different situations. So teachers could move these around and drag if they were just given the prompt, because you can see here there's a little share button. I actually published this first and then I shared it, and then everyone just had the link. Actually, I then converted the link to a QR code so that people could pick up the QR code. But if we just go back, I'm just going to close this window and let's have a look at the drag and drop for pre-K to 5 that I created as well, because actually the teachers I was working with were mainly primary teachers, and it was, you'll see, it was just, I think, was it a couple of prompts here? So same thing, I just had the pre-K to 5 examples. It's working well. How to publish? Yeah, it was just, and I just wanted to add that it was pre-K to 5. And these were actually a lot faster, these cards. So here, it's got a bit of a yellow background, but look, I can move these cards around. I can scroll as well. So an example is give students different 2D shapes with either 3 sides or 4 sides. Ask students to sort and group the shapes into 2 piles according to what they notice. Ask students to describe the differences between their 2 piles. So here we're asking teachers to just move these scenarios and these different examples of mathematics lessons from pre-K to 5. And then we kind of unpack, you know, what the difference is between those 2 piles. So I'm going to close that. And then I'm just going to really briefly talk about the announcement that Manus came out with last week. It was Thursday, October the 16th. So by the time that you're seeing this video, it probably isn't last week. It's probably a few weeks later, but I just thought I would go through this. I've decided to actually subscribe to Manus because for me, it's a one-stop shop that creates everything for me. I'm very mindful about using my credits and creating things that are going to be useful for my students, for teachers, and for education. But here, if we just go through what's been improved, we're briefly going to go through this. It's basically a lot faster. So when they released in April, it took around 15 minutes. Yeah, it used to take quite a long time to complete any tasks, but now it's just under 4 minutes today for any task. So you can see this little bar chart demonstrating the average completion time of any task. And then now we're building complete web applications like I just demonstrated. One of the major enhancements is the full stack web application development. You can now build and deploy production ready web apps entirely through conversation with Manus. No need to leave the platform to set up hosting, configure backends, or debug deployment issues. This goes far beyond generating static pages. Manus can create sophisticated applications with persistent backends, databases, user authentication, and embedded AI capabilities. So here you can see it's a full agent, and it says, unlike typical AI website builders, Manus can execute an entire value chain within a single context window. So researching and producing in-depth content, building the website, analyzing user interaction data, and generating insights or presentation slides based on those findings. Wow. The table below provides an overview of the core capabilities provided for the web application development in Manus 1.5. So I won't read the table out, but I'll leave the link to this below. We can now collaborate on any project. You can see here it introduces collaboration, allowing you to invite team members in a shared session to work together with Manus. The new library provides a centralized location for all your generated files and artifacts, making it easier to organize and access your work. So here is a little infographic that tells you all of the new functionalities on Manus 1.5. And there's also a Manus 1.5 Lite version. If you're a subscriber, you have access to 1.5. If you're not, you can see the Lite version is available to all users. Okay, what a fantastic tool, Manus. So I hope that that video has helped you think about what you could create to really enhance learning for your students. I absolutely love Manus. This video is not sponsored by them, but I continue to be really mindful about what I create on Manus, but it is a one-stop shop, and I can create not just web pages, but PowerPoints. I can create spreadsheets, like so many digital formats. So thank you so much for joining me this week, and I hope to see you next time.